What's good, everybody out there? If you are new to the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's talk about it. Alright, so as you can see from the title, we're going to get into this Tyson Fury situation. First and foremost, I want to say that I apologize to my listeners and my community out there for not coming up with the videos on a constant basis, on a more consistent basis, but there's been a lot going on. A lot of good stuff going on, but just a lot going on. And so, you know, we're going to keep it moving, though. We're going to keep it moving. I'm out here at Athfest right now. One of the things I got going on is June 29th, which is Saturday after tomorrow. June 29th, Bus Stop Chronicles come through. It's going to be a dope show. It's going to be a dope lineup, first of all. It's going to be a couple surprise guests. And then, you know what I'm saying, there's going to be a portion of the show. My show is pretty much going to be, it's going to be like a musical. Hip-hop musical, but it's not going to be like a musical. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be dope. It's going to be nothing but, you know, creativity, you know what I'm saying? Hip-hop creativity. It's going to be dope. It's going to be something that you're going to wish you made if you didn't go. So, June 29th, doors open at 6. And Squale, Motorhead 2 times, LB, we got Trey Chaney from The Wire, from Saints and Sinners. Of course, myself. Special guests, we're gonna have our Moon Rod coming through, special guest. You know what I'm saying? Foreign. I mean, it's gonna be dope, man. It's gonna be dope. Life degree only. It's gonna be dope. Anyway, so June 29th. Tyson Fury is a fraud. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I don't want people to believe the hype. Like this where Tyson Fury, I'm gonna break down the reasons why I say Tyson Fury is a fraud. Okay, what are his claims? Number one, which is he's the number one heavyweight in the division, the best boxer in the heavyweight division. That has only been proven. Let's go all the way back 6 years. The last time he's shown brilliant boxing was 6 years ago against Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko, reigning unified heavyweight champion in an era that was just absolute trash. Before that era, he took losses. Then, you know, the likes of Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield, those guys, they retired, which left a huge vacuum that he filled with a straight 1-2 and grab. 1-2 grab, 1-2 grab. Methodically robotic. That's what I call him. Methodically robotic. So he beat Klitschko 6 years ago. You know. Then from there, he beat 2 bums. Well, he went on a, you know, he got, well, let's break it down. He got popped for PEDs. Then he had to get started going through a lot of turmoil. I'll make a whole nother video about that. And then basically caused him to spiral out of control with the substance abuse. And then, of course, which, you know, mental illness became his thing. And he came back on the mental illness calling. But he beat 2 bums on his way back. He had a draw with Wilder, in which he hit the canvas twice. He hit the deck twice. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, people say, oh yeah, he outboxed Wilder. But yeah, but those people that'll say he outboxed Wilder would have told you going into that fight and after that fight, that Wilder is one of the worst boxers they've ever seen. He has no skill. So what does it mean to outbox somebody with no skill? Nothing. Really. I don't necessarily think that, but this is the popular opinion that people have. The same people that'll say, yo, Fury outboxed Wilder, you know what I'm saying? They'll tell you Wilder don't have no skills, he can't box. So Fury outboxed Wilder. And 3 bums, counting Tom Schwartz, and then Klitschko 6 years ago. And that makes him the best boxer in the division. Remember, we just went through this with Anthony Joshua. People thought Anthony Joshua was the best boxer in the division. Then he got clipped by Ruiz. You haven't fought everybody. You know what I mean? You haven't fought everybody. That style you got, that may not translate to everybody well. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not convinced of that. I don't think that I don't understand how you can have no belts. You're the lineal. Oh, I'll get into that separately. You have no belts. In the last 6 years, you've only beat 3 bums, a draw, and beat an old Klitschko. And somehow you're the #1 heavyweight in the division. So that's media hype. I'm not buying that. So what's the other claim? The other claim is he's a lineal heavyweight champion. The lineal heavyweight champion, yeah, by default he is a lineal heavyweight champion. The lineal heavyweight champion is the man who beat the man who beat the man. Let me break that down. The lineal title has been broken throughout history. And the last person to have a legitimate lineal title was Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis retired. The line was broken. Vladimir Klitschko didn't beat Lennox Lewis. He just picked up the belts. He picked up the line where Lennox Lewis dropped it off. Now, once Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, he became the lineal heavyweight champion. But he's not the man that beat the man. He's only the man that beat the man. And Tyson and Klitschko wasn't the lineal champion because he beat the lineal champion. He was just a lineal champion because the lineal champion retired and he became the champion. So the line really starts with Tyson Fury as far as the lineal heavyweight champion because he beat Klitschko. So he's the legitimate lineal heavyweight champion, but he's the first one. His line only starts with him. So that's really not a big deal. It's good to sling around, but to me it's not a big deal, right? So, what's the other one? This is the greatest comeback story in the history of boxing. So at the same time that you giving Muhammad Ali his props, you're gonna disrespect Muhammad Ali on top of that. You getting stripped for belts and getting popped for PEDs, causing you to find ways to chemically induce yourself in order to deal with your reality, in order to pull yourself out of that and come back to boxing. That's a greater comeback story than a person who decides to stand on their laurels, to stand on their principles, even at the risk of your occupation, everything that you work for, your dream, your accomplishments, your means, your livelihood, destroy your, at the risk of all of that, at the height, of Jim Crow, decide to say, I'm not going to Vietnam. I'm not going to Vietnam. I'm not going to Vietnam not just for me. I'm not going to Vietnam because of my peoples right here. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't get justice. We can't get justice in our own country. You know what I mean? And as a result, have to fight lengthy court battles. Have to have his whole livelihood taken away from him in his physical prime. As a result of that, we were robbed of his physical prime. No one robbed Tyson Fury of his physical prime. No one robbed Tyson Fury of his physical prime. He robbed himself of his physical prime by getting hooked on drugs and alcohol, whatever. It is what it is. Who am I to judge somebody, right? But these are choices you made. Versus a person choosing to stand up for what's right for himself and his people, and not just face depression or whatever. I might kill myself, hence killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's actually facing death threats because of what you stand for could actually kill you because of what you stand for. A system willing to starve you out because of what you stand for. Going to court, knowing that any day you might be sitting in the penitentiary because of what you stand for. And you having your whole prime taken away at the height of your career, having your livelihood taken away from you. That's just the backdrop. And to come back from that and regain the heavyweight title in the fashion that he did against the opposition that he did it against. How can anyone who respects Muhammad Ali ever come out their mouth and say, this is the greatest comeback story in the history of boxing? If it doesn't, like at all, whether it involves all elements or not, you can't. You're disrespecting Muhammad Ali in order to further your legacy. It's not the greatest comeback story in the history of boxing. And that's not even, that's just Ali's. You know how many comeback stories there are in the history of boxing? That's just Ali's. So, fraud. Okay? And say what he wanted. He gonna be forced into this Wilder fight, and I feel like that fight, I feel like in the first Fury Wilder fight, my thoughts on it are simply this without breaking it down. I'll say that for another video. And that fight, I seen the best of Tyson Fury. I don't think I've ever seen Tyson Fury look better than he looked against Deontay Wilder. But on the flip side, I have seen Deontay Wilder look way better than he looked against Tyson Fury. Way better. I've seen him box way better than that. Way better. The adjustments he need to make in order not to look that bad are very minimal. On the flip side, I can't say what Tyson Fury needs to do because that's the best I've ever seen him. So at his best, he barely escaped getting knocked out by a dude who fought at his worst. On Tyson Fury's best day, he barely escaped getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder on one of his worst days. Look up his fights. Look up the Bermain-Stavern 1 fight. That 12 round, his only time he went 12 rounds. Look at how well he managed that fight with the jab. And ask yourself, did you see any of that in that Tyson Fury fight? He could have gone to the body a little bit more. I know he don't do it that much anyway, but go to the body a little bit more. A lot of stuff. He was swinging for the fences that fight, trying to get the knockout. Tyson Fury was avoiding him. Yeah, good job. But anyone who knows, everybody say, oh, Deontay Wilder can't box. Yeah, you see that because he's throwing wild haymakers the whole fight. You know how easy it is to dodge wild haymakers? It's easy. It really is. It's easy. For somebody who's trained as long as Tyson Fury, it's easy. It's not easy for everybody, and most people who got any type of fighting inclination about them can dodge a freaking haymaker or two. So that's what I say, man. Don't believe the hype, man. You know what I'm saying? Tyson Fury is a good fighter. Is he the best fighter in the division? That's yet to be seen. I got to see him against Oscar Rivas. I got to see him against Andy Ruiz. I got to see him against Anthony Joshua. I got to see him against at least Dillian White. I got to see him against Luis Ortiz. I can't see him against Schwartz and Pianetta and other bum of the week club dudes. And then a draw. Look, if you'd have beat Wilder, that's different. It was a draw. Say what you want. It was a draw. You know what I'm saying? So beat him in the rematch, then we might have something to talk about. You know what I mean? But I personally don't see that happening because, number one, he's going to go into that fight with a lot of stress because people think that he's going to be able to survive that knockout again. I don't think so. I think if Wilder catches him again, he's not getting up the second time. And one thing that I do know, listening to Fury's father and listening to his wife, they are petrified of Fury fighting Wilder. Petrified. The fans might think it's cool. Oh yeah, the people who love him, no one wants to see him take that chance again. Because they know, just like I know, just like everybody else know, he ain't getting up the second time. Just because a dude gets shot once and live, don't mean when he gets shot the second time, he gonna live. Getting shot don't make you stronger. Getting knocked out don't make you stronger. It doesn't strengthen you to get knocked out. It weakens you. So that's what I got, man. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, comment, share. Let's talk about it. Peace.